What's up, everybody? Today's part 3 of my 1982 Pontiac PMD seat project. First episode was getting the seats cleaned up. Second episode was basically taking the seat apart and seeing how things function with this particular seat style. Today's episode, I'm going to try to take my 97 driver's seat, take it out, see if I can take the seat back off of it, and want to see if the seat back of my 82 will work on it. If you guys have any history on the Pontiac Firebird in 1982, they came out with this particular style of seat. This particular seat actually came from a Grand Prix, which I didn't know the Grand Prix got this style. But this is basically the Night Rider style seat back. Always loved it, always had my eyes peeled for a pair of these seats for the Firebirds that I've owned in the past. Finally scored these seats from a guy locally, and I want to see if I can get them to work in my Firebird. So I'll get the seatbelt guide off and those 4 nuts off the bolts there, and that will release the seat. From the looks of the red paint shavings kind of coming off of here, it doesn't look like this has ever been out before, which is kind of neat. Driver's seat out. Let's compare it to the 82. Okay, so I got the passenger seat up here for the 82 and the driver's seat here for the 97. You can kind of see the stark differences between the two. What's nice about the 97 is how everything is really bucket shaped. It really lets your body kind of sink down into it. The 82 is really kind of a pillow top. It's almost like a recliner in your house. So I don't think the seat bases were going to really offer the support that I would really want in the car, but like I said, I'm going to try to take the top off of this one from the bottom and see if the 82 will kind of fit on that, and then kind of give me that look that I'm going for with that headrest on the 82, but keep the kind of the sportiness and the functionality of the bucket seat on the bottom. That way I don't really have to mess with my seat tracks or anything like that, even though I know they will kind of swap over. But the thing I'm really looking at is kind of how these mechanisms and all this kind of stuff works. As you can see on the 97 seat, everything's kind of fully enclosed, whereas on the 82 it's kind of on the outside and had this outer trim plastic on it. I'm hoping that when I take this material, there's like a long clip here underneath, once I take that off, that it'll reveal hopefully something that looks a lot like this. The mechanism, as far as the handle and all that, really kind of all falls in the same place. So I'm really kind of hoping that that's really what's going to be kind of keeping all this together. And I noticed that the pin down here looks like it's got a couple. It's unusual. Not really sure what this is. Not seen this before. Of course, this is the first time I've had these seats out of the car. Not entirely sure what these threaded holes are for on this 97. That's interesting. So this faces the console and you never really see it. So I never really knew those holes were even there. So curious as to what that is, but it's encouraging to see that this bolt hole is here. Pretty much matches the lineup of the bolt hole on my 82. You can see that, and I'm hoping that these bolts and stuff here will, or those holes and stuff, will be able to bolt in on the mechanism on my 97. So well, let's stop talking about it. Let's just get it done. Alright, I got the shop fan going in the garage here because it's getting kind of stuffy and hot, so hopefully you can hear me over it. Basically there's a kind of like a J channel plastic clip that holds the bottom of this seat cover. You just kind of flip it over and it comes right off. That pulls that back portion off. Now that you take that part that's separated, start shoving it through to the front. See now that that's coming out. Before I do that, I should have took this plastic piece off. Looks like it's a couple Phillips heads. Looks like the holes are pretty much in the same spot, so that's encouraging. Yeah, that'll work. That'll go back on there, so that this other piece will hopefully go on there. And it's looking like there's a bunch of foam kind of covering the upper bracket part. So it looks like this just might work. I've got to figure out how to get this tiny little latch cover off. It's on there somehow. I can't really figure it out. I'm going to do just a little bit more research and also figure out how to get the headrest popped off, because it doesn't have any tabs or anything like some other cars would. So let me do some research on that and we'll get going. Okay, turns out what it needed was just some leverage. Basically it's just a metal piece that sticks out with a little bit of a bump on it, and that plastic piece it just kind of snaps on top of it. There's a little relief hole there for that to kind of pop into. So I was pushing on that hole thinking it was like a ball bearing or something that was kind of spring loaded, but all I did was get a pry bar underneath it and just gave it some well, pretty much I just hit it with my purse and it came off, so it wasn't too bad. Try to figure out how this seat foam here, back. Alright, so here's what I'm looking for. There's that seat latch. Yeah, that's looking pretty much just like the 82. Yeah, so this is gonna work. So I'm gonna work on getting these bolts off, get this upper portion put off, and just kind of mock up the new seat top on it, and it's pretty exciting. Alright, so I just lifted off really easy, no big deal. There's the side mechanism, and there we have it. There's our lower bucket. Now I'm going to see if I can get the upper portion kind of mocked up to see how it looks. Notice that this side kind of bolsters out a lot farther than the seat back does, so the stock 97 seat looks like it's probably a little bit narrower than that, but it's not terrible. Seam looks like this seam doesn't really line up with that one, so that's kind of my OCD's kind of bothering me on that one. This one seems like it's a little bit better, but it's cool to see that it actually bolted on there. These two here, right in, and that's neat too. Still has the holes. Still has the holes for the back screws here. Comforting to know that they didn't change much. So let's work on getting that on, see how that looks. Alright, so there we have it. Plastic trim pieces fit on the 97 bracket. Still had provisions for the holes, which was pretty amazing. I suppose if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So they just kept using the same mechanics and parts and stuff, and all went in the same holes as the 97 parts. So obviously the color's not right, but I'm going to try to remedy that. Alright, so just mocking up the seat into the car. Alright, it's exciting to see that it all fit. Looks like it's sitting pretty decently in the car. Obviously it sticks out like a sore thumb because of the color. Obviously all the mechanisms still work because it's all the original 97. But actually feels pretty good on the back because it has a little bit more of a push in the center of it. Kind of helps my lumbar, so that's kind of nice. Lateral support doesn't really feel like the 97, but I definitely still have it in the seat. So that's pro and a con. All I need is a set of aviators, kind of a mullet and a perm, and unbutton the top 3 buttons of my shirt, let some hair stick out, black leather jacket. I'll be just like Michael Knight. Well, there you have it. Part 3 of the 82 PMD style seats for my 97 Firebird. Was able to get the seat top bolted right to the seat bottom of my stock 97. So far, I'm really digging the look. I like the open headrest style, kind of that homage to Knight Rider and the 82 Trans Ams and all that. Able to retain the seat bottom, which is in way better shape than the original seats. Now the next step is to try to get this tan upper portion to match the rest of the interior, as well as the trim plastics and things like that. So that'll be on the next episode, so we'll call it a day on this one. Hit that like switch on your way out. Consider subscribing, and God bless.